Hello, y'all. I'm back. It's 10:49 p.m. at night. Um, so and it seems like my lips are dry and chapped, and trying to bleed a little bit, you know. But I've been trying to push today to try to, try to be hydrated, Um, well, like this morning, I don't remember if I said what I had. Well, I had it was like a blueberry pomegranate smoothie, and also, excuse me, also it was a blueberry pomegranate smoothie, and um, it was like a maple waffle sandwich, but like cheese. I don't know what kind of cheese it was, but it had cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese. It was like one of the best breakfast sandwiches ever. And I had some kind of like pumpkin coffee cake or something. It was good, you know, in a bag of chips, small little bag of chips. And for dinner, well, I mean, remember I told you I had breakfast at 11:30. Well, it was supposed to have been earlier than that, but the first DoorDash driver, his name was Edwin, and the idiot was right by the freaking excuse me, right by the coffee shop, and he was right there, and then after a few minutes canceled the order, and that delayed my time for me to get breakfast. Otherwise, I probably could have had breakfast like at about 10 o'clock, but my food didn't get here until like 11:30, and so it was it so Edwin ended up being replaced by someone named Matthew, you know, and so I mean Matthew seemed like he did a fine, okay job, but I love that sandwich though. I wish I could have that meal again, you know, but for dinner I think it was DoorDash and not Uber Eats. Yeah, it was DoorDash again. Remember, I'm not feeling well and I'm just tired. And they had someone named Mohammed that accepted my order and then sat there for nearly a freaking hour and did not move to go and pick up my food or whatever. And so DoorDash, they gave me a $10 credit, and then they told me to wait another 10 or 15 minutes, and if he doesn't move, then cancel the order. So I called the restaurant, and they told me to contact DoorDash and cancel the order. So that's what I did, and then it looks like they let me order from a different restaurant at no charge. And the guy wasn't answering his phone. He wasn't answering my messages. And then the last guy, I was trying to order some real food, like some chicken parmesan. And I was trying to do it during the happy hour time, where I could have got like a cheaper discount. And because Mohammed did what he did, you know, the time passed where it wasn't the happy hour time anymore. And then I ended up not getting to eat until I think it was after 6 o'clock. Um, I don't remember if it was 6 o'clock or 6:30 this evening that I finally got to eat. And the other guy, I think his name was Daquan, and he ordered my food. I'm sorry, he delivered my food. He was okay. Fine. You know, but I was like, for some reason, I felt hungry all day. Like, they have some moments where I be hungry all day, and other moments where I don't have much appetite. You know, like today I was like what they call hangry, like angry hungry. So I had chicken shish kebab. I think that was chicken, and I also had a hot sausage sandwich with cheese. And they said if you get if you spend like $20, then you get a free item. So the free item plus the brownie and a drink, I'm gonna save for tomorrow to eat. You know, um, excuse me, but I was afraid I would get full too fast if I ate the free item, and I was planning to save that for tomorrow. But I began to get hungry again, and I just had a bag of chips, and I'm feeling hungry again. But I'm like, no, I don't want to eat anything more until tomorrow. You know. Excuse me. So yeah. Wait a minute. I don't know if the first one was it DoorDash or Uber Eats. I don't remember. I think the first one could have been Uber Eats, but I don't remember. The second one was DoorDash. Um, but second one definitely was DoorDash, but the first one I don't remember. I'm itching, my forehead itching. But you know, I don't feel like I was able to be productive today. But then again, I'm not beating myself up about it because of being sick all day and not feeling well, you know. Um, so I'm just, trying to rest my body. And I took my bentonite clay and amazing grass supplement today. I took those supplements today. Um, and I needed, I drank quite a bit of fluids, trying to push myself to drink even more, because they said that with the clay you have to drink more and more and more and more water, um so yeah, my lips are dry, and I don't know if I'm dehydrated, but I've been drinking fluids, um my throat doesn't feel scratchy or like sandpaper anymore, but I've been blowing my nose all day, you know. Um, I have like a very mild headache right now, but it's not strong, but it's a little mild. Um, Now I have like it's like I'm so stopped up that I have a hard time breathing. You know. But it rained all afternoon and all evening. And even towards tonight, I've been getting like rain alerts on my phone, you know. So I've been nervous because of, the incident with my bank. I've been nervous all day. And then finally tonight, like I've been compulsively checking my bank account several times today. And finally tonight, um, that transaction went through, you know. So, but I'm guessing that tomorrow I'm supposed to get the Social Security check. I mean, it's coming, but I don't know if it's going to come tomorrow or Tuesday. You know, it's supposed to come before Wednesday. And it's supposed to be a Labor Day weekend. And I don't know if they're going to raise the prices for hotels even higher than the regular weekend, Um, so, but I didn't get to be productive at all with my writing today because of being sick and, not feeling well. But, excuse me. But I listened to Judges chapters 11 through 17 in the Bible. You know, excuse me. And yeah. But my stomach had been hurting off and on like this afternoon and this evening. You know, and I don't know if it was gas or mucus or part of me being sick and stopped up or, you know, excuse me. But like I'm afraid of going broke before I even get the paycheck. You know, I don't even ask y'all unless something happens where unless something would have happened where I end up not getting my checks, I don't ask y'all to pay the little bills that I have to pay. My phone bill, when I get the Social Security check, I pay the phone bill and excuse me, most of the time I pay for the month for bus passes. And then I pay for as many hotel nights as I could afford. And, you know, back last year, like before April of last year, I used to get like 900 something a month and get to pay. I was able to get like 6 or 7 nights, or would be lucky if I could have 8 nights of hotel with the Social Security check plus get the things that I need. But now, um, it's like all I could afford is probably 3 nights. I don't even think I could afford to do 4 nights. You know, they make my eye itch. I don't even think I can do. I don't think I could afford to do 4 nights. But I'm striving. Basically. So, you know, tomorrow for my plan is to pay for the phone bills. The phone bill and the 2 bus passes and you know, depending on the price of the hotels or motels, that's how many nights I'm able to get, you know. So, I don't know if, since me possibly getting paid tomorrow, and then I was trying to see if I can do like 4 more hotel nights: Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. Labor Day weekend, because I think everything will be closed. Well, I don't know what will be open. And then Tuesday morning, maybe have to check out and suffer back on the streets and be terrorized and harassed, you know. Um, so, yeah. And someone, treated me to some funds to be able to, eat at whatever restaurant I want to eat at, you know. At first, I thought that the person stood me up and played me, but then she eventually helped me. He or she, I don't remember if it's a male or female, ended up helping me out, you know. And then there was another person who helped me out like a couple of weeks ago, and then said that they were going to help me last Friday. And earlier that last week, like Monday or Tuesday, they said, "Oh, I'll help you Friday when I get money." I didn't get anything, you know. But the time before, they helped me with something, a little something, But but yeah, sorry for breathing hard, because I can't breathe because of, you know, being sick. But yeah, like as I was trying to say about people, like for me to be wrongfully blacklisted from employment, or if I do get employment, to deal with being workplace mobbed, and people are, pressuring me to get housing and a job right now, you know, when I can't at the moment. Like, as I said, me being illegally swatted and having fake criminal charges to fight, that's hindering me from employment. I mean, especially for that to be wrongfully on my record, you know. Um, and I can't leave New Orleans to go relocate anywhere because of more fake criminal charges to fight. You know, I don't know why I'm itching here. And I don't know what it does. Feel a little bit like something bit me, but I don't know what it was. But there was a look like a big gnat flying around earlier tonight that made me like nervous and frustrated. But yeah, um, maybe when I went out to go retrieve my deliveries, I don't know if that caused a gnat or a fly to come in. But I hope the thing would die soon. But I don't know why I'm hungry again. But I'm trying to not. I don't want to eat. tonight. Eat again, you know. But you know, one thing about being homeless and trying to have a job is a challenge to be homeless. And if you're trying to get a job and you don't, for me, if I don't have hotel or anything, you know, and if I have to bring my belongings with me because I don't have any place to store my belongings before the job interview, if I don't have hotel room, if I go to a job interview with all my belongings, and then, well, what happened is the hiring manager or the interviewing manager would ask me all kinds of nosy questions and refuse to hire me. And, you know, even if I do get hired to work a job, it's a challenge being homeless because they picture bitch fit and tell me that I cannot have my bags on the job or that I can't bring my bags to work or I have to have a certain dress code or uniforms that I can't afford. You know, or um I can't remember um the name of um the seafood place in downtown Pensacola, Florida, because they got a Pensacola, Oklahoma too, but I'm talking about Pensacola, Florida. Um, in Pensacola, Florida, they had this I can't remember the name of the seafood place where the man straight up told me that he was not going to hire me because I'm homeless and he feels like, well, homeless people are trouble. So, you know, and I remember trying to get a job at Sammy Barker's place in Pensacola on North Ninth Avenue, close to UWF campus. And the man, he gave me the interview and he gave me a free meal, but he didn't hire me for the job. They making my nose itch. And they had Holiday Inn and Hilton hotels by the, you know, on Pensacola Beach. And I applied to work those jobs, and they lied and said that they'll basically hire anybody who wants to work. And they didn't hire me. And there was another job. I don't remember the name it was of what it was, but it was like an apprenticeship job. And they said that they will hire anyone who wants to work. And they didn't hire me. And then they sent the workers to perp me really hard like a week later. You know, um, and as I said, I filled out over 500 job applications in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was supposed to get a job working at their airport. They juiced my head up to think that I was hired and gonna start soon. And then they went AWOL on me, and I never heard back from them after they told me I was hired. This was in 2023. This was probably like almost 2.5 years ago. And but all those job applications that I filled out, they waited till after I left and moved back out of state to start um contacting me for job opportunities. In Pensacola, Florida, they did me the same thing. Um, you know, there were jobs here in New Orleans that I applied for and never hear anything back. Sometimes they won't contact you until like nearly a whole year later. You know, um, but as I said, with my disability, I'm disabled with certain limitations, and a lot of jobs I cannot do. Like, it was a struggle and a challenge to do dishwashing and janitorial. And with my disability, I can't do housekeeping. You know, is with my disability, I can't grasp how to the fancy way of making hotel beds, but I can clean the bathrooms, and I could probably, I mean, I could clean the bathrooms and replace items and stuff, and but with vacuuming, you know, my OCD would be it would be a challenge with my OCD, um, and of course the noise thing. But I have a bachelor's degree, and I wish I would have known before going to college that that I was blacklisted. I would not have even tried to go to college and end up in debt, you know, calling myself pushing for the best and not giving up and still do nothing but fail, 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 and fail. And not realizing this was all part of the gang stalking setup. You know, but I feel like I got so many ideas of writing, but I cannot get my head straight because of sleep deprivation. I can't get my mind straight because of sleep deprivation and stuff. And I'm feeling like constantly fatigued with zero physical energy. You know, feel like I could never recover or never feel well rested. You know, um, so like in 2023, excuse me, I came back to New Orleans, and it was like I could not find a job until after it was established for me to have my in-state driver's license and the mailing address. And then once I got that, it was hard for me to find a job. And then, I talk about the airport sabotage, the airport job sabotage. I talk about it all the time with the stalking cult, what they did to me. And, you know, it seems like I was going to end up losing my Piccadilly job either way. If it weren't for what happened with me being workplace mobbed off the job, the online stalkers were bragging about calling up the job, spreading lies about me to the managers and everything. You know, um, and that was like a hostile work environment and very toxic. And a lot of people would say that was like a job that was full of drama, you know. And all you're doing is just selling, making and selling food. It was like a cafeteria style restaurant, but bland food. But the reason why I liked Piccadilly was because of, nostalgic childhood memories. Even though we didn't eat there all the time with the foster sister Shelly or whatever, but I remember her taking us there before, you know. Um, and I think I remember her taking us there more than once. And they used to have a location on, I guess it was on Jefferson Highway, walking distance from where I used to live at in 2017 and 18. And they shut that location down. I tried to get a job to work there, but for some reason they didn't. I thought they hired anybody, but for some reason I couldn't get a job there then. Excuse me, I could have just walked around the corner and walked to work and, then come back home or whatever. But they workplace mobbed me off the third party company with the job with the zoo and the aquarium, you know, with the concessions. And I was supposed to work with the actual zoo, but in 2017 I was so broke and poor that I didn't even have enough money I could not even afford 75 cents for the transit bus ride, the disabled bus fare to get over there for the interviews and stuff. And then when I try to panhandle and ask for just 75 cents for bus fare, I got narcissistically condemned about and lectured about begging. you know and one time I thought I was having a heart attack, but because of the funds or whatever, it was one of those times I ended up going 18 days with no sleep. And um at that time I did not have 75 cents. I was trying to avoid the ambulance because how much money they charge extra. Like they make you pay out of pocket for ambulance. So I was trying to avoid the ambulance, the paramedics, and um, got on the transit bus with my heart. Hurting so bad. And I tried to ask for help for 75 cents, and nobody on the bus had the money. So I couldn't continue the bus ride, and I was forced to have to get an ambulance. And, how they falsely accused me of faking for attention. New Orleans and Texas, anywhere where there's family, I would get abused and treated like that. And a few times in Los Angeles, I got treated like that. But anything in Pensacola, Florida, or other cities and states, I wasn't really treated like that if I needed the paramedics. My medical emergency would be taken seriously. But then they would say that they found nothing. But for you to have like a medical emergency, and then, like, say for example, if they hit me with direct energy weapons and I have vertigo, and this happened like 2014, from 2014 through 2015, imagine having vertigo every day for like 2 or 3 months. And then 2015 through the next year, I had to deal with all the vibrating and everything. And I didn't realize it could have been direct energy weapons. I was wondering, going to the doctor and then being gaslit and narcissistically abused and gang stalked and not taken seriously, and for them to be rude and to have an attitude with me and stuff. you know um I thought it was the diatomaceous earth that I took, but everybody said no, it's not the DE. me calling myself trying to naturally cleanse of parasites, but they said, oh, diatomaceous earth wouldn't do that. I mean, I made sure it's the food grade DE, you know, and they said it's supposed to, help get rid of parasites and stuff out of your body. But twice I've taken the diatomaceous earth internally, and you know, I ended up with bad vertigo, but then they said it has nothing to do with it. And I could not find any research on anything relating, um, you know, vertigo being a side effect of taking diatomaceous earth. But there have been moments where I took the DE and I did not have dizziness or whatever. But I'm wondering if it could have been the directed energy weapons where I was having bad vertigo and dizziness really bad, and um for me to have bad vertigo and dizziness, and so bad that I could not, I mean, I was vomiting up water. And I even tried to take activated charcoal, because I thought I poisoned myself or something. And even the activated charcoal water, I was vomiting. Couldn't even keep down water. And for like 2.5 to 3 months, from like maybe October, no, maybe about 4 months, like somewhere around October, all the way through January or February. Excuse me, around October 2014 through like January or February 2015, I ended up with vertigo every day, like especially late night, early morning, you know, and if I laid on my right side or on my stomach or on my back, I would feel it. But if I turned over to the left side, I wouldn't feel it as bad, you know. And I was not homeless, and I had a permanent place to live at that time. And then, I think between July and September of 2015 was when I started to feel the vibrating attacks, In April of the next year, I was forced to have to abandon my place. And, and I ended up homeless. And then, no matter what city and state I was in, they kept vibrating me all day, every day, especially at night. You know, and like, and it seemed like it was inescapable and unbearable. And I used to walk around Los Angeles for 3 hours at night trying to figure out where is that noise coming from, because I thought it was noise, but I didn't realize it was directed energy weapons, you know. Excuse me. And I used to dread Thursday nights through Saturday nights, and sometimes even Sunday nights, because that's when the vibrating would be the worst. And then when now that I'm talking about the vibrating, now they vibrating me. And then after that, when hold on, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was trying to say, but yeah, like nowadays, if I get vibrated, sometimes it might be like for a few minutes or up to 30 minutes, you know, and um, I think they hit me with energy weapons to make me forget what I was trying to say, you know. But excuse me. But yeah, um, and people fault me for being homeless when I cannot stay in a place to live for a long time. Um, I didn't even take any diatomaceous earth, but they kept causing me bad vertigo when I was in Bloomington, Texas. I experienced bad vertigo for weeks. I mean, yeah, vertigo and increased depression. I was having nightmares. Um, they were squeezing my organs, causing me forced diarrhea, forced urination. They were killing me up in there. You know, I tried to get a job in Victoria, Texas, and the perps, they sabotaged that. You know, excuse me. I'm like, did y'all? I heard that the gang stalking cult members actually pay employers or tell employers to not hire the target. You know, they tell them don't hire you. You know, excuse me. There was an Italian restaurant in Pensacola, Florida in 2021, right before the fake ass Sky Zone job. And um uh, and like I had the job interview, and then the perps followed me to the job and went and they had, I think they followed me with one headlight and red car, and I think they told the manager don't hire me, you know. And also when I tried to get a job at this gift shop or whatever at the beach in Pensacola, and the job was supposed to pay $15 an hour full time, and perps following me heavy, and they told the employers don't hire me, you know. And with the third party job with the zoo, um, here in New Orleans, um, excuse me, the manager put on the paperwork for the, you know, the workforce commission or whatever, workforce center, the job one or whatever they have. She wrote like a letter saying about me. She said, do not hire this person. Do not ever hire this person. When I was the one who got robbed on the job, robbed at work. I was the one workplace bullied, workplace mobbed. And then they have a guy named Charles that's from Ohio. I don't think he's from Cincinnati, but he was from somewhere in Ohio. He's not even from New Orleans. but he lives here. And a lot of the times, like he was all arrogant and puffed up, and they let him be the team leader with the third party job. And he was also younger than me, and he used to come to work high and smelling like weed. And Amanda let him be one of the team leaders, which was kind of like a manager. Excuse me. And he used to team up with the younger girls, the younger females, to workplace mob and gang up on me and bully me or single me out and exclude me or treat me a certain way, you know, and act like he thinks he's smarter or more intelligent. And now, um, and I know Charles is a perp, and now he, like, if I had to be homeless on the streets, he would walk up and down the riverfront with his head down, moping and looking depressed, you know. But, yeah. And they played all kinds of games with that job, you know. Excuse me. Yeah. So, they had a perp when I went to go get a bag of chips. You know, that thing costed $5.25. At fake Walmart, it would cost probably $2.38 plus tax. But you know, it was. I mean, I didn't have the convenience to go over there, and I'm not feeling well, but I was, hungry. Excuse me, and so immediately after I walked out of my hotel room to go and get the bag of chips, they had a perp, a black male perp. He was perping with like a black and red hat with a little bit of red, white or something on his hat. And I don't remember if he had a green shirt or something. Or what, I don't remember what else he was wearing. And he came immediately after I came out. He came out of the room he was in, and then pretended to fake like he came to get ice, you know, and then wanted to act like he was racing me to make it back to his room before I could make it back to my room. You know, it was no traffic or what coincidence is that for you to be a man and you come out of you like several doors down. Well, no, not several, but you're a couple or a few doors down. Excuse me, and then you come and with the gang stalking tactic of same time entry exit or also mimicking, you know, um, yeah. So I'm just so tired. But yeah. Um I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow, but I'm gonna get off here. It's 11:39 p.m. at night, and um it won't be till tomorrow morning when the time the video will be done uploading, and so I'm gonna get off here, upload the video, push myself to brush my teeth, and like try to put the clay, salt, and water mixture at the back of my throat, and try to gargle with it, and brush my teeth and try to drink some more water, and then go to bed. I didn't get to take a nap or nothing today. But I love y'all, and I can't wait till I get to live stream again. But I'm just doing regular videos. It's more peaceful this way. I don't have to be strained or stressed or shouting and yelling or nothing. But I wish I could be live streaming. I could earn a little more money that way. But I love y'all. I'm getting off here. I'll see y'all tomorrow.